ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Teresa Foxworth. I'm an RN and a breast cancer survivor. When I started the job I have now, it was my dream place of employment. When I looked at preparation for retirement, I knew I could do better. This company you're going to hear about today serves as a pension. In this company, we don't buy items. We're transferring one form of money to a more stable form of money. There are many with this company who came in years after it was established and generate more money than those who came in prior to them. With the 2025 changes are becoming better and more simple, there are no more required annual renewals. The value of the dollar in 9 countries has gone to zero. I would like to introduce to you my mentor and senior business partner, Mr. Tony Hubbard. He's a gentleman of integrity and compassion. He used to work at a chemical plant where he made at least $100,000 per year. Now with this company as a founding member, he generates more than $1 million a year. Please welcome Gold Executive Associate, Mr. Tony Hubbard.
I needed something that would work for me. So do me a favor, like a live and interactive presentation, put a 2 in the chat. If you've ever been at a point in your life that you needed something that would work for you. Because I tried traditional business, I tried networking business. I needed something that would work for me. And I took a look at the business model we're going to talk about tonight, and I got involved. The very same night I took a look at it, not because I understood everything, but because what they shared with me made a whole bunch of sense. Matter of fact, put a 2 in the chat if it makes sense to you to purchase gold and silver at the best price. Put a 2 in the chat if that makes sense to you. And if it also makes sense that if someone's going to get paid whenever someone else buys gold and silver, that somebody probably need to be named you. And that's all I really grasped over 8 years ago. From that time to now, I've introduced a few hundred people to the concept. And I am blessed now to have a team that is tens of thousands of individuals around the globe. And I don't share that tonight to impress you, but to impress upon you that if someone like myself that does not have a college degree can do this business and earn several thousand on a weekly basis, every last one of you guys here tonight will have that exact same opportunity. So let's just have a conversation over the next 30, 35 minutes. Let's just have a business conversation on why we believe everyone should have a part of what we're doing. So I'm going to share my screen. And what we call a wealth strategy. How do I go from my current circumstance to not only just surviving, how do I thrive no matter what's going on in our economy? Well, put a 2 in the chat if it looks like right now today you're working harder for your money than you've ever done just trying to make ends meet. Well, that was a study done in 23 and it said that half of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency in their life if one arose. That's alarming to me. That simply means if your tire blows out or something happens to the washer or the dryer. And in lieu of the fact that over 50 million people in 2020 found out they were not essential employees, I'd venture to say that number is now closer to 60%. So the question tonight, and we're going to give an answer to it, what's really happening with your money? Why is it that $100 today won't buy what $100 would just a few years ago? Well, according to what the economists call this silent tax called inflation, that's why it's costing you 88% more to eat out. Groceries have more than tripled. And I don't know about you guys, but put a 2 in the chat if you remember not long ago, for $100 you could walk into a grocery store and your shopping cart would be full. Now with $100 it feel like I'm being robbed in broad daylight. And everyday necessity that none of us can do without have more than double. But again, the question is why? Here's the short answer. It's not that the price of everything is going up. It's that what you're using to purchase it with, the dollar, the value of that is going down. And as you can see, it's been on a steady decline over the last 100 plus years. And in 1971, it fell off the cliff. That's when President Nixon removed the gold standard. See, the dollar was still pretty strong and all the other currencies in the world were tied to the dollar because we backed it with gold. But once Nixon removed the gold standard, what he created is known as fiat currency, which means our dollar is now only backed by a government promise to pay. And I hate to break it to you, the dollar's only money as long as the government tells you that it is, until that dreadful day they tell you that it is not. Now, I'm not the doom and gloom kind of guy, but would it surprise you to know the same playbook that we're using in America? Other countries stopped backing their currency with gold and silver, and they all eventually went to zero. I see Germany tried in the 1920s and recently in Zimbabwe. So here's what I want you to understand. If the people that run the government, no matter who's in charge, are following the same playbook, It caused other economies to fail. How do I survive? How do I thrive no matter what's going on in our economy? Well, tonight we're going to make a case for our product called sound money. And don't be alarmed, that is a fancy way of saying physical gold and silver. Tonight we're going to share with you some of the secrets of the wealthy. You will find out why is it that the wealthy of the wealthy own gold and silver, so should you and I. Why is it that the largest governments of the world and the largest financial institutions of the world, why do they own the most and yet they say the least? What do they know that you and I should know? Well, here's what they understand. Back in 1965, when a dollar was still pretty strong, a dollar bill and a 1-ounce silver coin were equal in value. And if you notice back then, the price of the Mustang wasn't $30,000. The sticker wasn't $50,000. All you had to do was accumulate either 2,500 $1 bills or 2,500 1-ounce silver coins. You could walk into that dealership and walk out with a brand new Ford Mustang right off the showroom floor. Do me a favor, put a 3 in the chat if you think buying a brand new Ford Mustang for just $2,500 is a beautiful thing. Well, fast forward to today, ladies and gentlemen, same 2 items, but because the dollar has depreciated by 98% and silver has now grown in wealth times 3,000%, you and I both know 2,500 $1 bills, you're going to be lucky if they say that's the down payment. But 2,500 1-ounce silver coins, because of the value of today, it could buy you 2 brand new Ford Mustang. And I'm partial to those right there because I won the black and gold one last year in our company in a contest. But what about the other sound money of gold? Well, back in 2000, 626 ounces of it was equivalent to the median price of a house in America, which is $169,000. But what if you and I knew back then what we know today, and instead of just saving in dollar bills, I'm not saying stop saving, but instead of just saving in dollar bills, we also saved in silver, and we also saved in gold, that same 626 ounces, because now gold is at an all-time high, over $3,400 an ounce. Ladies and gentlemen, it'd be worth about $2 million, and you could buy you probably 5 to 7 medium-priced houses today. Now, if I understand that to be true, why haven't my financial advisor offered to take me to lunch and talk about gold and silver? Why haven't my financial planner said, listen, let me buy you a cup of coffee and let's put some of your wealth into gold and silver? Here's the truth of the matter. It's not that they're bad people. They're trained not to have the conversation. Number one reason, they don't earn a commission on that. And the second reason is they don't want you and I to know. They hope you and I never wake up and smell the coffee. But if you were invited to this presentation tonight, somebody respected you enough, somebody loved you enough to give you a phone call. Why we believe everyone should have a piece of what we're doing. Well, who are we? We are 7K. I want you to imagine tonight being a part of a diverse group of individuals from all walks of life who are currently doing business in 32 countries around the world, who have joined together to help support one another to create a lifestyle that's powered by gold and silver. And one of the reasons why this company has such an impeccable track record is the 4 gentlemen you see on the screen. See, 3 of them are multi-millionaire. Mr. Roger Ball, he's a multi-billionaire. Now think about it. In 2016, they were all doing extremely well. But the reason why they garnered so much respect, because they said far too long, they were watching the people around them struggle just trying to make ends meet. So they created a company so that everyday people like you and I could have a chance to create a lifestyle that's powered by gold and silver. And they created a mantra that still holds true today. We believe in you. Now, people ask me all the time, okay, what makes your company so different? Isn't silver, silver, gold, gold? How are you guys able to change the game? Let's watch a short video and you'll begin to understand why people are flocking to this company from all over the globe.
If you're watching this video, chances are you're curious about gold and silver. You might have a few questions, like why should I buy precious metals? What metals should I be buying? Who can I trust to buy them from? How do I know I'm getting a good deal? And how can I afford more? You should know that you're not alone. Most people have these questions, and over the next few minutes, we'll introduce you to an easy solution. Most people we talk to say they have a feeling that it's a good idea to own precious metals, but really don't understand why, or how to get started, or they don't feel like they have the budget for it, so they don't do anything about it. This lack of understanding costs them a lot of money. Quite honestly, we don't want you to make the same mistakes. We've watched far too many people struggle as the economy fluctuates, employment issues arise, or unexpected changes come up in life. Owning gold and silver can help shield you against all these challenges long term. When we started 7K, we established a mission to help the average person get ahead by adding precious metals to their portfolio, no matter their knowledge or circumstances. We've already changed the precious metals industry by making it extremely easy to get started without any maximums or any minimums, period. But that's not enough. We're now completely revolutionizing the industry and making it so anyone and everyone can seamlessly start buying precious metals. It doesn't matter if you want to start with $100 or even $1. The new technology provided by our partner company, Sound Money, will allow you to convert your cash to various asset classes of fractional gold or silver quickly with no games or gimmicks. Sound Money, you own the metals you buy, but they store them safe and sound. And you'll sleep easy at night knowing that if you ever want your metals, they'll be in the mail at the drop of a hat. How? Sound Money uses a non-segregated vault at their partner company, VaultMax, to store your precious metal assets, protected by some of the most technologically advanced security out there. You can be sure your metals are safe there. If you want your metal, simply request it. Pay the shipping and insurance and it will be on the way. But what if you need cash? The old way of liquidating precious metals, including lugging a heavy box to a local dealer, hearing excuses for why they couldn't possibly match the current market value of your metals and probably ending up in a no-win situation, or contacting an online buyer with a typical $1,000 minimum only to find that the price they initially quoted you for your metal dropped significantly once they received your heavily taxed package 4 to 6 weeks later. With Sound Money, you can kiss all that headache goodbye. This is the only tool on the market with the power to give you frictionless liquidation with one of the best buyback prices in the industry. So whether you're a savvy investor who already knows the power of gold and silver and the advantage of a private vault, or you're trading your first dollar for precious metals, Sound Money will make your ownership journey convenient and easy. Be confident that control is back in your hands from start to finish. Let Sound Money work for you.
All right, do me a favor, put a 2 in the chat if you like the fact that our company has a way for you to put gold and silver on layaway. I mean, if you can have just $1, ladies and gentlemen, you can start playing the gold and silver game. Now, when it comes to gold and silver, our company offers 2 different types. We have the wholesale product that is called the bullion, that is the non-collectible gold and silver, and it is typically a defensive strategy, how you protect your wealth. It has a 5,000-year track record, so it's going to always have value. And when it comes to bullion, we offer silver and gold bars, silver and gold rounds, and for the first time in human history, we have a system that allows you to buy fractional silver and fractional gold that's backed up by physical silver and gold. Now, bullion is a defensive strategy. That's how you protect your wealth. But you and I both know you're never going to win in business or in life if all you ever did was just play defense. So what's the offensive strategy when it comes to gold and silver? That's where the collectibles come into play. They say that 90% of Americans collect something. How would you like to collect assets that will always have value and make money on top of that? Give an example. What if you were in a Spider-Man comic book back in the day? That original one cost 12 cents. Now, if you'd have just kept it in decent shape, I mean, the pages are legible, the cheapest you can find one today is $2,500. But what if you kept it in mint condition and it closed in plastic like the one on the screen? That one sold for $3.6 million. And at the end of the day, it's just colorized paper. But what about the Mickey Mantle baseball card? I'm 60 years old. I remember back in the day, for a dime, I could get a whole pack of those, and it came with a stick of bubble gum. Now, what if I'd have kept it in decent shape? Ladies and gentlemen, the cheapest you can find one today is $10,000. But what if I'd have kept it in mint condition like the one on the screen and closed in plastic? That one sold for $12.6 million. And at the end of the day, it's just colorized cardboard. So here's what I want you to ponder tonight. If colorized paper, because it's rare and in mint condition 60 years later, can go for $3 million. And if colorized cardboard, because it's rare and in mint condition, can go for $12 million. What do you think about something that's already valuable by itself, like silver and gold, will be worth 5 years from now or even 10 years from now? Well, what makes a coin collectible? That's the first question people ask. Well, it has to follow this particular formula. Incredible design, great story, historic significant or low mintage. And the beautiful thing about getting a membership with our company, when it comes to our products, we touch all of the boxes. Matter of fact, we're the only home-based business that 5 years ago we partnered with a mint, and we provide the silver and gold, and we have coins exclusively made for our members. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a game changer. And matter of fact, every one of the coins you see on the screen, those amazing coins, are what were made exclusively for the members of our company. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. But one of the major reasons why you want to play the collectible game is because we don't want anybody to ever again make a $1.2 million mistake. What do I mean by that? Let's watch a short video.
You probably made a $1.2 million mistake and didn't even know it. Let me explain. Let's start by taking a look at this chart that shows the purchasing power of the US dollar 1913 to 2013. In 1913, the dollar was worth $1 in purchasing power. In 2013, a dollar was worth 5 cents in purchasing power, and even less now. We've seen the dollar and all currencies lose value over time. Some of this is due to inflation, but most is because of a change in 1971. In 1971, the U.S. president ended the Bretton Woods Agreement, which cut all ties to currencies that were backed by gold. All at once, all world currencies became a fiat currency, meaning they are simply backed by whatever the government says they're worth. Take this scenario as an example. Let's say you wanted to purchase a brand new Mustang in 1965. It would have cost you $2,500 or 2,500 US silver coins. The same 2,500 US dollars won't get you a car today, but those 2,500 coins would get you 2 cars. As you can see here, while the US dollar has lost its value over time, gold and silver have maintained their purchasing power. If you'd consistently purchased gold and silver bullion over the years, you would have negated inflation and maintained an average buying power. But what would have happened if you'd have bought collectible gold and silver? It begins with the MS-70 Silver Eagle. MS stands for mint state. It's a grading system. An MS-70 coin means the coin is in perfect condition. If you'd purchased one MS-70 Silver Eagle every month since 1986, you'd be sitting on a $1.2 million portfolio, and it would have only cost you between $50,000 and $80,000. That's why we call it the $1.2 million mistake, because most people didn't buy them. What's crazy is that's what the coin the US Mint makes millions of every year. What would have happened if you focused on even more exclusive, unique, and rare modern coins? Here are a few examples, the track record for a few more unique and exclusive coins that we've offered through the years. A 2004 Tiffany art coin sold originally for around $100 with shipping and is selling in the market today for between $5,000 and $10,000. If you didn't get one, that's at least a $4,910 mistake. The Julius Caesar 7K exclusive from 2021 sold for around $360 with shipping and is selling for between $950 and $1,100 today. If you missed it, that's another $550 mistake. And here's the Montana Butterfly from the 7K Always Saver program that sold for $150 with shipping. Today, it would cost you around $1,200 to get one. That's another $1,000 or so mistake. Sure, those are great performers, but that's a portfolio of around $10,000 with only a few coins and a fraction of the cost. With time, the power and potential of collectibles are real, and we're on a mission to help you avoid the potentially $1.2 million mistake, not adding them to your legacy.
All right, do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, put a 2 in the chat if you like me. You still get mad at a $20 mistake, let alone a $1.2 million mistake. And because the company recognizes that most people don't have the discipline to go out and buy collectible coins on a monthly basis, they created for all the members a win-win-win scenario. See, every single month you have 5 different days you can set it and forget it, and our experts will pick and choose and provide the coins for you, silver and gold, and also a gold note. So the first win is that you're going to get an asset every single month. The second win is that every time you buy one, we'll give you access to a savings program where you'll have over 850,000 places to save all over the world. Hotels, rental cars, dream vacation packages, restaurants. And the third win is that every time you buy one of those coins, they will give you what is called loyalty points, and you can utilize those to get free silver and free gold. Well, what can my collection look like after a couple of years if I decide to play the game? I don't know, ask my man, Mr. Curtis Harlan. See, he joined our team 5.5 years ago, And at that time, although he was a successful businessman, he didn't own any silver, any gold coins. But by focusing on getting sets like you see on the screen, in 5 years' time, ladies and gentlemen, he's amassed a small fortune to the tune of a few $100,000 in gold and silver. Well, Tony, you've been around for 8.5 years. What can my collection look like after that time? I don't know. Ask my man, Mr. Chris Ladden. See, Chris joined our team 8 years ago, and this guy flies helicopters for a living. But back then, he didn't own any silver, any gold coins. But by buying a little bit at a time, and he decided to share this, so he earned an additional income, and 2/3 of that also went back in silver and gold. Arguably, he has one of the largest, if not the largest, collection in the company to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the gold and silver. Now, what if I'm not an expert? I mean, what do I know how to buy? Well, you don't have to be alarmed, because part of your membership, there is a buyer certification, there's a collector's training that will educate you on what the most successful people buy. You'll learn the difference between the bullion and the numismatic or the collectible coins. So before you start making purchases, you can make intelligent buying decisions. Now, remember we talked about earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that when I first got started, for the most part, we were just a gold and silver company. But as you can see, looking at our benefit wheel, we have morphed into so much more. We now have a healthcare program, a savings program. I mean, not only that, ladies and gentlemen, if your 401k has been reduced to a 40k, we have a way to help you out with a gold-backed IRA. There's a lot of benefits that come along with this membership, and all I can tell you guys is that the best is yet to come. Now, remember we talked about 2 problems in the beginning. The first one is that $100 a day won't buy what $100 would a few years ago. How we help you on that problem, the membership allows you to put some of your earnings into gold and silver. The second problem is equal as important, if not greater, is the fact that half of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency. So over the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you guys how if you decide to share this, you too can earn part-time, full-time, and even life-changing income. Now, one of the major reasons why people get involved in a business model like this is because they want to accomplish what Robert Kiyosaki talked about in the #1 best-selling business book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what the wealthy teach their children that the poor and middle class don't. Well, his follow-up book was called The Cash Flow Quadrant. In that book, he reduced it to the ridiculous. And he said, if your goal is to have financial freedom, if your goal is to create wealth, you simply need to play on the right side of the quadrant. Unfortunately, most people are on the left side. They are the employee. That means you have a 9 to 5. You go to work, you get paid. You leave work, guess what happened? They don't pay you anymore. And I know there are many that believe they have the quote-unquote good job, but 95% of people that I know, and 95% of people that you know, they become rich or wealthy, don't do so from the 9 to 5. And then the people that get upset with that scenario, they typically migrate to the second quadrant of self-employed, which means they now own the job. That's the doctor, that's the attorney, that's the mom and pop shop. And because they are their own boss, many people believe they're the ones that really have it going on. But I hate to break it to you, 95% of people that I know and 95% of people that you know that become rich or wealthy don't do so from the self-employed. And then when you study business and you get the answers to the test, you recognize the fact that the people that really have it going on, which means they have both time and money together, they live on the right side of the quadrant. They are the big business owner. The difference between that, the self-employed owns a job, big business owners, they own a system, and they typically have 500 or more people contributing to their income on a regular basis. Now, for those who think that's a small number, ask yourself the question tonight. How many people are helping you make money right now? And with 500 or more, would your life be a lot better? Or they are the investor, which means their money is now making them even more money. Now, for those who like to get to the right side, but you don't want to spend $50,000 with the price of an average franchise, for less than $1,000, let me share with you guys how tens of thousands of people have begun to migrate to the right side of this quadrant. Now, the way we do it in this business, if you decide to share this, you can do both of the things on the right side of the quadrant, because we have 4 different ways you can get paid. The instant gold pay is a game changer, and we're going to watch a short video to show you how that works. The metal bonus allows you for the first time in our history to get paid, and the person you sign up, when they buy a particular metal, our company will pay you in that same metal. The loyalty points allows you to get paid in collectibles, And the share plan has allowed tens of thousands of people to make part-time, full-time, and life-changing income. But rather than me explain how this instant gold pay works, let's watch a short video and you'll begin to see why people are flocking to this company.
What is Instant Gold Pay? It's the brand new 7K customer acquisition program that pays you directly in gold. Whenever you refer a new customer membership to 7K, we will instantly pay you either $20, $40, or $80 in fractional gold, sent to VaultMax and instantly shown on your Sound Money dashboard. We'll say that again. Instant gold. The minute your new customer referral finalizes their purchase, gold is sent directly to VaultMax on your behalf. So what's the catch? Well, you do have to have your Sound Money and VaultMax accounts properly set up first. But once that's done, there's nothing to stop you from getting out there, sharing 7K with someone new, and collecting an instant gold payment. We're ready. Are you?
All right, do me a favor. Put a 2 in the chat if you're ready to get paid instantly in gold. All right, so here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. The most lucrative way we get paid is through the share plan. And the share plan consists of a dual team system, which means at the end of the day, you will simply have to place everybody that comes on board on one of 2 teams. Why is that important? Well, if you study this industry of home-based business or network marketing over the last 100 plus years, history has revealed to us that, I don't care what the name of the company, what product you market or the service, the average person in their lifetime within your company will only sponsor 2.3 individuals. That's why the dual team system is so popular, because all a person has to do to start earning income is to sign up 2 people. And you're now in a position to start getting paid. Now, they pay you instantly in gold for every one of your signups, but when it comes to your commission, they give you points for every signup, and points equal to dollars. And here's how it works. Once you bring on the first 2, placing one left and one right, you're now in a position to start accumulating points. And whenever there's at least 250 on both sides, you're going to make a $250 commission. And ladies and gentlemen, the best thing I love about that, the smallest check you will ever receive from our company is $250, and it gets better from there. What if after I sign up my first 2, the next week I got 500 points on both sides? You guessed it, it pays out a $500 commission. And ladies and gentlemen, that's unheard of in this space. You see, in my 21 years of network marketing, I've seen a lot of dual team systems. And for the same amount of work, there are companies out there that will insult you and pay you $10 for that. $25, maybe $50, but in this equation, you can make as much as $500, and all you personally did is sign up 2 people. So I want to make sure I'm talking to the right audience. Let's just say you get started tonight, and we help you find your first 2, and then they bring on a few. And then next Saturday, that's a $500 commission in your back office. You really don't understand how it got there. Put a 2 in the chat if you plan on cashing the check, and just maybe ask where it came from later on down the line. And you know what? It just gets better from there, because the more new people that you sign up, you now can earn more and more commission. And after 500, they're all paid out in $500 increments. It used to be the most we can earn on a weekly basis was $12,500, but they've recently enhanced our compensation plan. No one has reached it yet, but now you got the potential to earn $25,000, $50,000, as much as $75,000 on a weekly basis. So if points equal to dollars, the next question people ask me, how do I get the points? Here's how it works. Everybody, once you sign up, will get an e-commerce site. So if somebody want to test it out, I can send an individual link to that person. They can buy everything I buy with a slight retail markup, and when they check out, whatever that difference is, the company will split it with you. But if they buy anything points related, those points will turn into your commission. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, the next way is the monthly autosave. So you got 5 different times of the month. You can set it and forget it. But not only will they give you points when someone on your team buys a coin, they will also give you points when you buy your own coin. In addition to that, one of the coolest things they ever introduced us to, and sometimes it can be one of the most frustrating, they call it a coin drop. Well, you'll get an email on a Monday, and they'll tell you have a certain date at a certain time of the day, but keep in mind, it's going to be first come, first serve. They will give you access to some real rare coins. Sometimes it's only a couple thousand of them. If you're fast enough to get one, they come with points. Sometimes it's just a couple of hundred. If you're extremely fast to get one, they also come with points. And last but not least, as you begin to build a team, just know every new person that comes on your team will have points, and those points will turn into your monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly commission. So what is my income potential if I decide to take this thing serious? Let's look at the numbers. When you bring on the first two, you're placing one left and one right, you now can get paid as an associate. Associates are earning up to $500 on a weekly basis. But what if I need to make more than that? Real simple, duplicate your success. You now can get paid as a copper. Our coppers are earning up to $1,000 on a weekly basis. It gets better than that. What if I need to make some full-time? You guessed it again. Duplicate your success and you can get paid as a bronze. Our bronze are earning up to $2,000 on a weekly basis. And here's what I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen. The beautiful thing about this compensation plan, it goes back to what John C. Maxwell would oftentimes say, it takes teamwork in order to make the dream work. And the only way you're going to make the most money, you've got to help the people on your team also make money. And I love that about the company. But for those of you who have real aspirations of one day firing your boss and living life on your own terms, that typically happens when you reach this rank of silver. See, our silvers, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, are earning up to $3,500 on a weekly basis. And just think about it. $3,500 a week, $14,000 a month, that puts you in the top 10% of income earners anywhere on the planet. And the company recognized that here's typically where the cream rises to the top. So much so, a few years ago, they decided to do something unheard of, to incentivize you to hit that rank as fast as you possibly can. They said for everyone that comes on board, we're going to give you 90 days to reach the rank of silver and make at least $5,000 in a month. You don't have to, $14,000 what you can make, but once you make at least $5,000 in a month, they're not going to hand you a fancy certificate or a plaque. How about getting a 100-ounce silver bar like you see on the screen? Same one I'm holding in my hands right now, that's valued at about $4,000. Now, over the last 8.5 years, there's been well over 600 people in the company that have reached the rank of silver. About 200 of those did it in less than 90 days. Some less than 60. You know what? We've seen a few get it done in less than 30 days. And because our team here, Legacy Builders, has helped over 100 people get their own 100-ounce silver bar, as my grandmother would oftentimes say, if you can do a thing, you can definitely teach a thing. I'm looking forward to helping at least another 50 people before the year is out get their own 100-ounce silver bar. So do me a favor, put a 5 in the chat. If you want to be in that next group that we help you get your own 100-ounce silver bar, you can make yours sound just like this here. All right? And for those who believe in generational wealth, that typically happens when you reach these next 3 highest positions attained so far, which are gold, executive, and presidential. As you can see, you're looking at $7,000, $10,000, as much as $12,500 on a weekly basis. And ladies and gentlemen, that type of income right there, I mean, you're talking about making it more than some of the top professionals that you know. Doctors and attorneys don't earn that type of income. And there are everyday people in our company that are doing that as we speak. Right now, there's been over 100 people in the company that have reached the rank of gold. There are 24 of us that are at the rank of executive gold, and there are 4 presidential goals in the company. So if you're looking at this for the first time, what you should see is that there's plenty of room at the top. And I'm looking forward to seeing the numbers double by the end of next year, because when you look at everything our company has to offer, we are by far the best kept secret in all the networking space. So you're probably wondering right now, okay, let's get down to it. How much does it cost? How do I get my piece of this pie? And when individuals start adding up all the benefits, and we just touched upon a few of those tonight, it comes with the membership, some people get discouraged and say, you know what, this is out of my price range. This got to be $1,000 to as much as $2,000. And you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you find out the company was designed so that everyday people can have a chance. So we have 2 options that are very affordable. I call them the good one. I call it the best one. A good option that you can come on board with is $149. You're in the game. We're going to put $20 with a fraction of gold in your back office right off the bat. You got limited access to some of the benefits, but you can build a team, and you can make some part-time and even full-time income. But for those of you who believe like I do, that if I'm going to play the game, I need to have all the whistles and I need to have all the buttons. The Legacy VIP is designed for you for $599. But get this, that's not an annual commitment. That's not every other year. How about $599, one and done? And you now have a lifetime subscription to what I call the Country Club version of 7K. Because you're going to get every benefit that I talked about tonight and so much more. I mean, there's so many benefits. I mean, I don't want to get into detail, but I want to highlight two of the things, and we're going to wrap it up after that. The first one is that it's lifetime. So you got thousands of dollars in future savings. The second one is this. This is the only one. If you want to maximize the compensation plan, this is the only one that allows you to do it because you can get paid each of the 4 ways I just mentioned. See, not only will you get paid through the share plan, you'll also get paid every time you sign somebody up instantly in gold. You'll also get paid through the loyalty program, but this is the only one that will pay you in metal, in bullion, when the people that you sign up also buy that same bullion. See, in that Sound Money wallet, in that private vault, we have 1 ounce silver eagles, 1 ounce gold eagles, 100 ounce silver bars, and 1 ounce gold bars. So what if the person you sign up decides to buy $10,000 in silver eagles? Guess who's going to get paid in silver eagles? What if they decide to buy $1 million in gold bars? Guess who's going to get paid in gold bars? See, they showed us the numbers, and they said if this would have been around for the last 4 years, that would have been over a dozen people that would have earned over $20,000 in gold and silver. That would have been over 400 individuals, myself and Mr. Latin included, that would have received over $1,000 in gold and silver. Now, don't get me wrong, I love being able to buy collectibles and gold and silver bullion at a discount. But do me a favor, put a 3 in the chat. If there's a way for you to get some gold and silver for free, you want to get your share of gold and silver for free. So that being said, a lot of people I bring on board and they want to build a business. The first question they ask, well, how fast can I become profitable? Will it take a month? Will it take a year? And if that's your mindset, you couldn't have picked a better time to come on board. And keep in mind, this particular bonus will end at the end of our convention on the 17th of next month. But ladies and gentlemen, when they gave us a taste of this in December of last year, the most checks ever made took place during those 2 weeks, and the biggest checks ever made took place in those 2 weeks. So how does it work? For when you come on board, the company will give you 2 weeks to double your commission points on every one of your personal signups. So what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? Let's just look at the numbers. If I do the $5.99, if I want to become profitable, just sign up 4 people in the first 2 weeks that do the $5.99, 2 left and 2 right. You're already in profit mode, because that's going to generate a $500 commission check, and it's going to generate $320 in instant gold in your back office. That's $820 you're in profit mode. What if we help you do that twice in the first 2 weeks? That means you've earned $1,000 in commission and $640 in gold. What if we help you do that 4 times, ladies and gentlemen? There's no limit to how many times you can do it. Matter of fact, I've done the math. And if you want to get the silver bar and everything else and make $11,720, what if we help you sign up 34 people in the first 2 weeks? We've seen it done many times. You've made $11,720 because you took advantage of the double commission points. So that being said, every time I share the information, without fail, as far as coming on board and making the best choice for you, individuals always fall into 1 and 3 categories. Person number 1 say, you know what, I like what I hear. I'm not into the networking thing, but I know what's going on in the economy, and I know I need to start saving in gold and silver. I say, great. Get back with the person that invited you out. Let them know, hey, I'm a number 1. I just want to be a customer. I got $149 or $5.99. I'm ready to start stacking. Person number 2, you say, you know what? I love being able to buy the gold and silver, but I need to make some extra money, and I got an extra 5 to 10 hours a week. I say, great. Get back with the person that invited you out. Let them know, hey, you're number 2. You got $149 or $5.99. You want to stack, and you want to make some money. But if you're like I was guy number 3. When I found out I can not only stack a lot of gold and silver, but I got the potential to make as much as $300,000 a month, this became a no-brainer to me. You see, being a student of this industry, here is what I knew to be true. There are thousands of companies out there in the network marketing space. They all make money. They don't all necessarily make sense. But you know what has made a lot of sense over the years? Having 100-ounce silver bars showing up in your mailbox. What about a 1-ounce collectible gold coin that you paid $1,600 for and now is worth over $4,500? To have assets like this show up and to be able to make up to $300,000 a month made sense to me. So do me a favor, put a 3 in the chat if what you heard tonight just makes sense. All right, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, here's my advice to you. Go ahead and grab yourself a membership. You can have a smile just like these individuals here. They came on board. They each have now stacked quite a bit of gold and silver. They all have earned income, ladies and gentlemen, and they all know that the best is yet to come. So that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen tonight. If you got anybody in here tonight that got maybe 1 or 2 questions before getting started, here's the time you want to raise your hand, and we will allow you to unmute, because we believe in being very transparent, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. So the floor is open, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate that, Mr. Sean Culp, man. Looking forward to seeing you again real soon. Has anybody else got any questions before we wrap it up? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're winding it down. We're in the last month of our 90-day blitz. Well, we are Project 10,000. We've already added a few thousand people to our team in the first 60 days, ladies and gentlemen. And we got another 30 or so left. And our goal is to add another couple thousand before it's over with. And so we're doing the same presentation, myself and different leaders, Monday through Friday, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, and every Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern. But the Saturday, after the presentation, we'll do an hour worth of training on how to build a business. So here's my advice to you tonight. Get back with the person who invited you out. And always remember that life is not about waiting for the rain to stop. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Everyone have a great evening. God bless. And take care.
This company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day, evening, or night. We love you. Thank you again for watching. We look forward to hearing from you soon. So you can tell us what you like best about it. Love you. Bye.